Michelle Miller from CBS Saturday Morning, and welcome to The Dish. Today, we're visiting 3 restaurants changing the culinary scene in Brooklyn, New York, one meal at a time. We meet a woman who founded a cooking school where strangers learn family recipes in the kitchens of immigrant women from around the world. Then we head to Brooklyn Heights, where 4 high school friends have put a modern twist on the classic diner. But first, we meet a Persian chef who waited until she was 59 to open her first restaurant. Chef Nasim Alihani moved to the United States in the 1980s when the Iran-Iraq War began. But instead of opening up a restaurant right away, she decided to save her money to move her brothers from Iran to the U.S. Her restaurant, Sofre, was born in 2018, becoming an overnight success. She told our Tony DeCopel why she accepts having to wait to open her eatery and why she celebrates things as they come.
The aroma is intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Long before Nasim Alihani
Hey guys,
became a breakout star of the food world,
this is very hot.
owner of one of New York's most popular restaurants, she was for decades a home cook.
So you just sprinkle a little bit, just a tiny bit.
In this case, dazzling us with a demonstration of 6 types of a crispy Iranian rice dish known as tahdig.
You just go straight to the
Wow.
pan.
Some of it prepared with a pan she'd never tried before, let alone on camera.
You just went for the challenge today. You figured.
Yeah, how interesting it is. And my daughter said, don't do it. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it and we'll see. We'll see.
What an inspiration.
One heart-stopping moment later,
Not bad. No, actually it's better than I thought.
the point, she says, is to always be learning.
This is great tang.
So now if I cook it again, and believe me, I will in a couple of days, because I have to get this right. I will add more oil, I will add cooking time, and I will make it work.
And the food that comes out of her Brooklyn restaurant, along with the recipes that went into her new cookbook, are the result of a lifetime of that kind of experimentation.
What you bring to your food is not your culinary experience, it's your life experience. And if you can bring them together, you have a successful recipe.
The book is a guide to the balance and beauty and amazing variety of the Iranian table. To sit at the sofre, she writes, using the Farsi term for a special type of tablecloth, means setting the table with a spread of delicious, vibrant, soul-satisfying Persian food, just like the kind she grew up with.
Every time I looked right, left, as a young child, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunt, my mother, somebody was cooking, and there was aroma, and it was intoxicating and almost mesmerizing, at least for me.
For a certain kind of American viewer, hearing that all the women were in the kitchen taking care of the cooking, it feels old-fashioned, backwards. You're nodding your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't see it that way.
No. The way I see it, food is power. And the same way water is power. Who controls the food and water controls the life.
Raised in central Iran, Alihani studied law with dreams of being a judge. The Iranian Revolution ended that plan as the country cracked down on women's rights of all kinds.
Our world really turned upside down literally in a few months.
And then, as war erupted between Iran and Iraq, a bad situation turned worse.
The saddest memory I carried with me for many years was the body bags that they were coming from the front line. Our neighbors, once in a while you would hear a wailing sound. We all knew that another body was brought.
Moving to the U.S. in 1983, food remained an obsession. But any thoughts of opening a restaurant would have to wait, as she saved money to help her 2 younger brothers move to the U.S.
I just thought, my brothers are my priority.
Yeah.
It's great to dream about something, but the dreams, they cannot be like a bubble in the air. They should have a foundation, and I saw no foundation in that dream.
That foundation was built a few years later, but just in time for another dream to come true.
We were surprised that I was pregnant with twins. I'm like, everything goes to back burner until further notice.
So it wasn't until 3 decades after moving to America at the age of 59 years old when she finally managed to bring all that life experience into a professional kitchen.
I announced to my husband I'm opening a restaurant.
You announced?
I announced I'm opening a restaurant. And he said, may I ask why? He just said, I said, because I have one dream that I have kept all these years. I have to be able to look at this person in the mirror, which is me. I say, what was your reason for not reaching your dream? I don't have an answer for that person 10 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm gonna do it. And if it fails, I tell that person, you tried, didn't work, tough luck.
That's not at all how it turned out.
Every single dish has been
Phenomenal. The food at Sofre, seasoned with centuries of tradition, was an overnight sensation. And Alihani still seems to treat every table like an old friend.
Well, thank you for being here. Of course,
Thank you.
It's not only the food, but the culture she's infused into Sofre. From the meditation that starts each day, to the restrooms she's decorated with posters from films banned after the revolution.
Do you think in spreading Iranian food, you are in some way helping the political situation?
In a political level, I'm just a cook. Who am I? But on a little tiny one guest at a time, I think every guest who dines here has to think of Iran a little bit differently.
Nasim, does any part of you ever wish that all of this success and recognition came earlier?
No, it wasn't my time. I like to accept things as they come and celebrate when they come. And I have had a rich life and a long life. So I have a lot to offer, not just a good chicken sauce or a beautiful rice. I am bringing so much more of my life into this.
Up next, we meet a group of women building a community in the kitchen, one family recipe at a time. Lisa Kyung-Gross created a cooking school called the League of Kitchens in 2014 when she realized the nuances of creating exemplary dishes that are best taught in person. Now, a dozen immigrant women chefs make up the league and open their homes to strangers, teaching them how to make cuisine from across the globe. Nancy Chen sat down with Gross to learn more on how the league teaches lessons beyond food.
Welcome to the house.
Walking into Chandra Wawa Guntu's New York City kitchen feels like home,
This is more sweet than this.
which is exactly what she's hoping for as the East Java native welcomes novice chefs for a crash course in Indonesian cooking.
I like to call it onion actually, not shallot. This is real shallot.
Her lessons in a league of their own,
If you buy in Indonesia, they're gonna do this.
as well as the League of Kitchens. More than a dozen immigrant women from around the world sharing lessons on food and plenty more by opening their homes to an intimate group of otherwise strangers.
When someone says the most important thing is cooking with love, it's like a little ding, like you might be a good instructor for us.
Lisa Kyung-Gross started the league as a cooking school in 2014, inspired by her own Jewish and Korean grandmothers.
My grandmother would cook all of this amazing Korean food all the time, but whenever I'd want to help her in the kitchen, she would always say, oh, don't worry about cooking, you should go study.
She didn't want you to come in and help.
She really wanted me to have professional and educational opportunities that she didn't have. In her mind, cooking was the same thing as being stuck at home and not getting to pursue your dreams in the world.
After her grandmother passed away, Kyung-Gross scoured books and the internet for recipes that replicated her cooking, but nothing quite matched.
I realized so often there are little details or tricks or subtle nuances that are really the difference between something being good and something being exceptional. So many of those details you really need to learn from someone in person.
Her dream of learning from a Korean grandmother expanded to a Nepalese one, as well as women from India, Argentina, Iran, and Mexico.
I didn't even think I was only going to find women instructors. However, I've realized that in most places around the world, the people who do the everyday home cooking are moms and grandmothers because it's usually women. This culinary knowledge is often undervalued.
That's why Kyung-Gross wanted to share them in the League of Kitchens cookbook and with us at her home in Brooklyn.
We can start with the cold borscht, which is also called svekolnik. And this is from our Ukrainian Jewish Russian instructor. I'd also recommend you just mix it all in.
Oh, mix it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This was a favorite family recipe for the summer that really had a lot of vegetables and nutrients. And she does talk about how growing up in the Soviet Union, often there were limited nutrients available in the wintertime. So getting a lot in the summer from all this fresh produce was so important.
Yeah, you have to maximize each spoonful at that point. This is delicious.
Each recipe curated and tested by Kyung Gross in collaboration with the chefs to create meals that both impress and linger.
This is from Uzbekistan.
From Uzbekistan.
And from our Uzbek instructor, Jamira, and it's called achik chuchuk. There's a little sprinkle of cayenne pepper. It's nice to kind of have something a little different.
And to be able to go to a barbecue and say, hey, here's my Uzbek tomato salad.
Yes, exactly.
We moved to chicken milanesas from Argentinian-Italian instructor Mirta, who proudly says her mother made the best in the world.
So this recipe is an example of one where there are a lot of interesting details and tricks. So one is when she breads them, she uses her knuckles to press them in, which works really well.
Their Greek instructor Despina shares torlu, a colorful plate of slow-roasted vegetables topped with grated tomato.
In her recipe, she describes making this back in Greece.
Yeah, and when she was growing up, people didn't have ovens in their home. So this was a dish that people would bring to the local bakery to bake in the baker's oven.
It sounds like she's been used to communal cooking for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Green beans are stir-fried with carrots and egg for an Indonesian staple called orak-arik, one that Wawa Guntu has been making for decades.
What does it mean to see your recipe in a cookbook?
Number one is, wow, it's a kind of butterfly flying. It's so proud of what I can contribute.
It's a hard-fought achievement by Wawa Guntu, a former financial analyst who escaped political unrest in Indonesia.
They cut the tempeh like this.
I think there's something so powerful about you have all these women who have come from such a variety of backgrounds,
Yes.
all sharing what they know.
Most of them are seeking a freedom, including myself. League of Kitchen is the platform for us to express that we came from many different difficulties, but we come to the dining table through the food and create unconditional love and kindness.
It's a purpose evident as she teaches her students lessons beyond food.
Ta-da!
What does it mean to have people in your home?
I love culture and tradition. This is Indonesian home and this is Indonesian dining table. And to make sure you can eat a lot,
Come
make
hungry.
sure come hungry. And we can talk about many things.
A conversation spanning continents and a community created over a kitchen table.
Next up, how 4 high school friends teamed up to revamp a beloved neighborhood diner. What would New York City be without diners? With long hours and extensive menus, they're a place to stop for coffee, have a business meeting, or simply celebrate. But rising rents have forced many diners in the 5 boroughs to shut their doors. When a diner closed in Brooklyn Heights during the pandemic, 4 high school friends, a screenwriter, 2 directors, and a lawyer brought a neighborhood classic back by opening a new diner in its space. Tony DeCopel sat down with 2 of the owners to learn how they aim to serve hot food and crispy fries to their happy customers.
Far from busy Manhattan, in a part of Brooklyn once known as America's first suburb, you'll find a diner fit for the old days. Except the guy whipping up your early bird special is one of the most talented young chefs in New York.
I think all of these things traditionally are done very fast, very cheaply, but if you take a little bit of time to consider the ingredients, slow down the cooking a little bit, I think it makes a big difference in the quality.
Diego Moya is not only fast, he's inventive. With dishes at the new Montague Diner in Brooklyn Heights that go way, way beyond 2 eggs, any style.
This is a pesto that's made from the ram tops and walnuts. Too much heat.
But besides the food, and trust me, much more on that in a moment, what really sets Montague Diner apart is the style.
The diner that was here previously was open for 40 years. I went here as a kid. I grew up around the corner, and it closed during the pandemic. So there was an opportunity to, make the dream come true here.
Henry Joost is a filmmaker by profession, the director of Catfish and 2 of the Paranormal Activity films. And he wasn't the only one with ties to film and media.
So we had a screenwriter, 2 directors, and a lawyer.
Yeah, walk into a bar.
walk into a diner and think, we're going to reopen this place.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
We kind of grew up hanging out at diners, and we were remembering these diners of our youth where you would go, sometimes you'd go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we just felt like that didn't really exist.
They did it with the help of yet another movie friend.
Sam Lysenko, he came in with a real production designer's eye and transformed this space into, I think, this kind of nostalgic thing that we all hold in our minds and our hearts when we think of diners.
So what's the goal from the moment a server comes out and says, what do you have, hun, to the moment the food's on the table? What's the goal time frame?
Very short. Ideally somewhere in the 10-minute range.
Wow.
Hot food, crispy fries, and happy people.
You should put that on the wall out there. Hot food, crispy fries, happy people.
As long as it gets a little bit of air and it flips, you're doing the right thing.
Ooh.
It's okay. One more.
Come on. Hey! A little bit there.
But while this ramp and crab meat garganelli is far from diner food, they also deliver the classics, with maybe a little more focus and a lot more flair.
The diner menu can be 10 pages long. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to just kind of keep it simple, stick to the classics for the most part. We also have a surprisingly great wine list, which you don't often find at a diner.
True. Milkshakes to wine.
Milkshakes to wine.
Speaking of milkshakes.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Look, it's still thick. Wow. This is the kind of thing I'd order and disappear in 30 seconds.
So good.
And then there's a Greek omelet served with tater tots.
This is incredible. It's honestly like a lunchroom throwback, but this is so good.
A giant grilled cheese.
They make smaller pieces of bread, Diego.
You gotta have a good grilled cheese.
This is dangerous. This is really good.
A lot of calories.
And of course, burgers.
This is our signature burger. Gently put it down. Perfect. And we'll just...
Oh, it's essentially like you're cooking it from both sides.
Exactly. So these are the buns.
Oh, look at that.
Now we get our bacon. What you would call like a special sauce.
All right, here we go. That's really good. Oh, fantastic. You know it's good.
I like a burger.
That's fantastic. That is just classically good.
With its unique mix of old and new, the Montague Diner is apparently what a whole lot of people are looking for.
What was it like for you to see this come into reality?
It's so satisfying. This is the place we wanted to create. You could come here for a breakfast meeting. You could bring your kids here for a snack after school. You could come back for date night at dinner, all on the same day.
So I think it's just like the food is varied. I think that the clientele is varied, and it makes it exciting because it's always different in here.
For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news, stream us right here on CBS News 24/7. I'm Michelle Miller. We'll see you next time for another helping of The Dish.